You know, I love playing Game Boy Advance. But what if I didn't want to see what I was playing? Well, I could play in the dark. This is fucking awesome! But what if you already paid the electrical bill? The Game Boy Micro. So small, you'd have a better chance of watching the game on a fucking original Game Boy.
I know that was bad. I came up with it on the spot.
To be completely honest with you, it is hard to just show just how small this thing is. Like, it surprised me when I got this, how fucking small this is. Okay, so this is your Game Boy Micro. And this is your Game Boy Advance cartridge. Here's a penny, an American penny. And then here is a normal Game Boy Advance. That is pretty fucking surprising how much smaller this thing is. It easily fits inside your pocket. Or even an Xbox 360. It even fits in a microwave. Why the fuck are you storing a Game Boy in a microwave? I don't know. I'd say the only really decent thing about the Game Boy Micro is the screen. Yeah, you might need a microscope to look at it, but it is one of the cleanest... I would say it is the cleanest screen on a Game Boy. I mean, it's better than the Game Boy Advance SP, which isn't saying much because it's a frontlit screen, but I would go as far as to say the screen on the Game Boy Micro is better than the one on the DS, the original DS. I mean, fuck. You know what's cute when the buttons are lowercase? I don't know. I think one of the funny things is that they could fit a headphone jack on the Game Boy Micro, but they couldn't fit one on the Game Boy Advance SP. Oh shit. My Game Boy Micro is running dead. Well, guess we better charge it. Okay, let's just unplug our GBA SP for now, and just plug in our... Nope, it uses its own fucking charger, which is stupid because the original DS uses the same fucking charger as the Game Boy Advance SP, but the Game Boy Micro don't. I mean, it'd make more sense if the Game Boy Micro used the same charger as the Game Boy Advance SP, but the DS don't, but it's the other way around. How many times did I say Game Boy Advance in that? This released the same year as the DS, right? For $99.99. $100 for a Game Boy Micro. Okay, well how much is a DS? $150. So for $50 more, you can get a DS. Mind you, the DS also played Game Boy Advance games. Now, I would kind of understand if, this played Game Boy and Game Boy Color games, and the DS only played Game Boy Advance games. But no, this don't play Game Boy or Game Boy Color games either. Just Game Boy Advance games. The exact same fucking games the DS can play, and the DS can play DS games. For $50 more. If you were that crazy broke so that you could afford a Game Boy Micro, but not a game or a DS, buy a Game Boy Advance SP for $50. Because I would argue that the GBA SP is years better than this little fucker. No wonder this thing flopped. There's, 3 million of these sold? Which is better than the Virtual Boy, but that's not saying much. It's a cute system. It has its place in history. But if I'm ever going to play a Game Boy, it is never going to be this one. It is always going to be the SP. The GBA SP. Never this thing. Do I recommend this thing? No. Nope. No. Don't buy it. You can get a Game Boy Advance SP off eBay for around $70 to $80. These things will run you $150. Twice as much. For less. It doesn't make sense to me. This isn't anything more than just like a little collector's piece. There's no reason to buy a Game Boy Micro. Nada. None. Just buy a Game Boy Advance SP.